Today, I am going to explain a drama, horror, action movie, called Day of the Dead Bloodline. Be aware, the video contains spoilers. We start the movie with a reporter talking about creatures eating people alive. We see a lady climbing out of a building in a shocked state. She wanders around for a while, just like in Disneyland. We see a zombie messing up someone's car, but he managed to keep his manners and cleans up after himself. We go back in time 4 hours. A group of med students are examining a body. The doctor asks the students what caused death and Zoe, the girl from before, gives the wrong answer. The doctor asks Zoe to take blood from a man. The doctor tells Zoe that his antibodies in his blood are 100 times more than the normal level. Zoe meets the guy, named Max. Max tries to flirt with Zoe, but she refuses to take part in it. Max shows Zoe his artistic side and reveals his right arm. Abby comes in, defends Zoe and sends Max away. The girls attend the half-year party. Abby's boyfriend, Peter, tells Zoe that he needs help to bring beer from the morgue. Zoe goes after him, but Peter pulls a hilarious prank on her. Peter takes one keg and Zoe grabs the other. Zoe falls behind and Max enters the morgue. Max tries to force himself on Zoe and starts licking her face, but the morgue security quickly ends the nonsense. Zoe runs back to warn the others when the doctor from before turns suddenly and attacks one of the students. Peter gets bitten from behind and everyone starts running for their life. Zoe climbs out of the window and tries to help Abby up, but the doctor bites her as well. We jump 5 years forward and we see Zoe writing a journal. She is now in a recon military station, where they collect data about the virus. The base now functions as a refuge as well. Civilians and military personnel live there together. Zoe goes for a run when a zombie tests the fence's durability. The leader, named Miguel, shoots the zombie. We see Zoe and another woman working on something when a woman enters the lab and says that Lily's fever is up. Zoe visits Lily and gives her kind words instead of medicine. A meeting is on about problems at the base when Zoe bursts in and tells everybody that Lily has highly contagious bacterial pneumonia. Zoe tells Miguel she quarantined Lily but she needs more medicine. Zoe also tells Miguel that the university she attended has a secured medical stash and she knows the code to access it. Miguel opposes the supply run since the university is too far away. Zoe tells Miguel that many people can die if they don't have the proper antibiotics to treat them. Miguel agrees and assigns a team to Zoe. Bacca, Miguel's brother, comes to Zoe's room and they do adult stuff. But Zoe quickly gets bored and decides to check on the highly contagious Lily instead. Luckily, Zoe is wearing a lava stone bracelet, so she is protected. Zoe gives Lily a necklace before she leaves. The next day, two vehicles leaves the base to find the university. Shortly after they leave the base, one of the car breaks down and the group stops. One guy suggests to turn back and come back later, since the fixing takes a lot longer than expected. The group starts hearing zombies near them, but Lucy manages to fix the engine just in time. The group moves forward and reach the university during night. Half the group enters the building. They find the stash and pack up the medicine. The group is about to exit the building when Zoe decides to split from the group without telling them to take the photos she left there. Max as a zombie is still there and tries to catch Zoe. Zoe shoots at him multiple times but misses. The sound alerts other zombies in the area. Zoe drops a rubber ring. Max smells it and makes his day instantly. Bacca and Zoe both walking backwards to make sure they can scare each other when they meet. The group probably found the military costumes in a thrift shop since it's the second time they leave someone behind without noticing it. The rest of the group manages to get out and arrive back to base. Zoe tells Miguel they lost Frank, which Miguel replies that he died for nothing. Zoe tells Frank's wife the bad news. The wife becomes furious and blames Zoe, but only because she haven't yet seen the marvelous photos Zoe has. Meanwhile, Max is playing hide and seek, as he managed to follow Zoe to the base. He's watching kids play soccer but decides to not to join as he prefers basketball. One kid manages to kick the ball away and goes to look for it. A soldier stops the kid and orders him inside. Max comes out of hiding and bites the soldier. After, he goes inside the bunker. Zoe visits Lily and gives her antibiotics. Max, as a true imposter, hides in the ventilation system. Zoe checks the pictures that costed Frank's life. After, she heads to see Miguel. Miguel threatens Zoe to not talk back to him since he is in charge and his reputation can be ruined by talking like this in public. Max catches a glimpse of Zoe when Bacca goes up to her and kisses her. Max gets angry and crawls away. The janitor notices the noise coming from the vents. He thinks rats making the noise, so he grabs a hammer and crawls into the vents. I am no expert in rodent control, but I doubt that method ever worked. Max of course says hi to the janitor. The janitor's wife goes to look for him and notices blood dripping from the vents. Her husband's head dives out and she starts screaming and running. Max catches her and drags her away. Lily's quarantine is so effective that basically anyone can enter. Max finally reveals himself to Zoe, who runs away and presses the alarm button. Max catches up to Zoe and shows the art again, which still looks like a fresh work after 5 years. The others are ready to kill Max, but Zoe stops them and tells them they need him alive. They chain up Max and Miguel enters the room. Zoe tells him he isn't a zombie since zombies always bite, but Max didn't bite her even when he had the chance. Miguel tells Zoe to prove it if she wants to keep him alive. Max licks Zoe but refuses to bite her. Miguel lets Zoe do research on Max, as he could be the key to a vaccine which protects the still alive. Zoe finds out that some of Max's internals are still alive, including his eyes, brain and heart. Zoe takes blood from Max. She is completely aware of Max's feelings about her and lets him lick her face to keep him calm. You would think Zoe wants to keep Max as calm as possible, but 2 minutes after taking the blood sample, Baka comes in and she kisses him. Zoe asks Baka to bring zombies inside without killing it to take samples. The team heads to the gates to let the zombies in one by one for Zoe. The zombies break the gate and kill another soldier. Elise also gets bitten in the process. Miguel visits Zoe, but finds only Max there. Miguel sees Zoe's name on Max's arm and mocks him for it. The remaining soldiers manage to get inside, but the zombies overrun the yard area. Miguel is furious about the situation. Zoe tells Miguel that only her lower arm is bitten, so it takes time for the virus to spread. Miguel shoots Elise in the head instead of chopping her arm off since he can't stand the sight of too much blood. Baka gets into an argument with Miguel. Miguel tells him that Zoe is only keeping Max alive because she is obsessed with him. Baka goes up to Zoe and tells her that many people died for her vaccine and her decisions. She ignores everything and shifts the blame. At the end, she gets mad at Baka for asking who was Max to her. She even breaks up with Baka, because of not believing in her. The others are having a drink to honor their fallen friends. Lucy goes to Max to tell him how ugly she is when Max grabs her throat and slams her head into the wall. Alphonse separates them, but Max takes Alphonse's keys. The room echoes so bad that everyone has to go 10 inches close to Max to be able to tell him anything, even after an incident like this. Zoe starts developing the vaccine. It turns out, only few hours later Zoe is done with the vaccine. Zoe tells Baka she is done, but Max grabs her from behind. Zoe escapes and she meets the team. She tells them to don't kill Max as she needs him. The team heads to the lab, but the lab is already empty, so the alarm goes off again. Lily leaves her very effective quarantine as they order everyone to the hall. Lily finds her mother, already turned into a zombie. Her mother kills one of the soldiers and about to attack Lily when Max comes and kills her. Zoe finds the necklace she gave earlier to Lily and finds the dead soldiers. She takes a gun and proceeds to look for Lily. Max is holding Lily as hostage. Zoe threatens to kill herself, but she isn't really persistent and abandons the plan rather quickly. She drops the gun and Max grabs her and opens the door. Lily runs outside, which seems like the worst place to hide. Zoe and Max runs after her. The zombies overrun the base, killing almost everyone. Miguel closes the door, but Baka insists to open it because Zoe and Lily are outside. Miguel gets eaten by zombies and Baka is the only one left at the gates. When Baka is about to open the gate, he gets bitten too. Zoe finds Lily and they hide in the greenhouse. Max enters the greenhouse and picks up Zoe's jacket to smell it. As he is enjoying himself, Zoe uses a tactical move, called Plants vs. Zombies, and stabs Max from the flowerbed. Then she proceeds to kill Max, which would be sad news to all the people that died to keep Max alive. Baka is about to pull the trigger when Zoe arrives and tells him to try the vaccine. Zoe tries the vaccine on Baka and it seems to be working. She starts mass-producing it. Zoe tells us the vaccine won't keep the zombies away or make them less violent, but at least if you're lucky enough to survive a bite, you won't turn. At the end, she smiles at all the orphan children that were lucky enough to survive the massacre.